So today I'm showing you how to make an egg-sucking leech fly for salmon. This can be worked on king salmon, Atlantic salmon, brown trout, anything that eats salmon eggs. So for this you're gonna need orange yarn, you're gonna need black yarn, and you're gonna need a pretty decent sized hook. As you can see, I've got one in my clamp already. Then you're gonna need preferably black feathers, but I like using red feathers. So, like me, I am gonna stick with my true and tested red feathers. Are here. If I could grab one. Oh, yeah, there, that looks pretty red. So, we're gonna need, you'll probably only need one, but you might need more than one red feather. And then you should also have, where is it? Oh, you can also make it with pink fluff as the egg, or the body's almost always black. You can just choose, you can choose whatever color you want. If you do, let me know how it goes. But I don't know where it went. Oh well, you could can add in some red yarn if you want in places to make it look better. You can modify this to any format, just make it look somewhat like the base model. I'll put up a photo right now on screen, but here, I'll show you how to tie it now. So you're gonna need your black yarn, which I'm actually just gonna rethread through. This is a little bit more of a complex fly, so not so much for beginners, but that doesn't mean don't try it, because I'm teaching you how to do it step by step, and if you follow along with the video, you'll be pretty much a pro at making them. So pull out your yarn. I mean, not your yarn, your stuff. Do a base layer of black. Base layer, pretty much on every fly you'll ever tie, you're going to want a base layer of black. Always go upwards first, because then you can go backwards and it's even. Because almost always your fly, you're going to want your stuff at the back. That's where you're going to be connecting most of your feathers, your fluff, your yarn, whatever, you know? And then I'm doing a pretty good base layer because I don't want no silver showing when I use this fly, or when I for selling. But I also sell flies, just hit me up. Anyways, you're gonna want to go fairly far back. So this fly is one of my favorite for king salmon, personally. Drifting it under a bobber. Put up some photos of king salmon I've caught on some egg-sucking leeches. Same with, another thing is woolly buggers, which I showed you how to do in a different photo. Any small stone flies work well. Pretty much anything, but like, just there's some few good flies. Do your research and you'll be able to catch them. So at the back, you don't need much of this stuff here. But to start, we are going to do the orange yarn. I chose orange because I find it's a good color for this fly. Snip off about this much and attach it at the back, like so. Sure it's attached well on there so it stays. Doesn't need to look pretty yet because this is all getting covered over. I need to get more orange yarn. And then you want to real quickly bring this up to the front of your fly. You do that on the egg sucking leech, you always do this before. Then you're gonna wanna just take this guy, fold him over the top, pinch it there, and start wrapping right here. Like so. This is the egg. You wanna make the egg pretty large. So I'm doing quite a few wraps here. So you've got something like this. And then you want to go to the back. You want to take this guy, you're going to want to go around your egg and then just tie all this up and do a base layer all the way around your egg like this to cover up all the orange yarn that you do not want showing, because this is where the leech will be. You just want the egg to be there. So you want to cover all this up with black yarn. Doesn't need to be perfect again, just needs to be okay. So then once you bring your guy back to the back, this is when we're going to add the feather at the back, because egg sucking leeches have feathers. So to do this, I am going to tear off these feathers, the fluffy feathers. So we're just going to want to tear off that. So now we've got these feathers in hand here, like so. This will be the flashing of the tail of the leech. Even though the leech is black, I just prefer using the orange as the tail. So you want to, or red or whatever, you can make the tail whatever color you want, but I prefer this color. Then just secure it to the back of the fly, like so. And then let that dangle. And if some come out, it's okay. You just need some to stay in. I'm going to actually attach this guy again here. And I'm going to make sure all this random feathers is somewhat brought in. And you're going to want it to look somewhat like so. So this is like this is going to bounce when it's in the water. You can add more on there if you want. I like it looking something like this, kind of like a tail stream end, like that. Okay, now this part's important. You're going to want your black yarn. This is the whole leech part, and we're going to snip it here. I like to do too much just to make sure it looks okay. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pinch this to the hook and secure it again. You're going to want to secure everything really tightly with this fly, because this fly, you want it to last a few salmon, and it's going to get beaten up. But I can guarantee you this fly will work. I've used it so many times. I've almost never gotten skunked when I use it, and if I am getting skunked, I always switch over to it. So you've got this. So now we've got something like this, right? You got the black, you got the tail end, and you got the egg. Now you take your black, and you're going to make this body pretty large, so you're going to want to wrap it a few times. And then you do this. like so. And then I am going to just bring a little wrap here to make it look better. And then I'm going to secure my yarn to this like so. And then I can trim the excess. So now we've got something like this. See, it looks good. This is the base layer egg sucking leech. So you've got the leech here. You've got, this is the leech, this is the egg, and it's like that, right? So it looks good. Okay, sorry, it's not on camera, my bad. And then you got the tail ends that's gonna attract the salmon. And then I can guarantee you though, I'm gonna say it again, I can guarantee this fly will work. Anyways, so you got your egg, looks good. You got your leech, looks good. You got your tail and feathers, looks good. And then you're gonna wanna, you don't need to do this part. I like doing this part on most of my flies, but like, this is what I catch the salmon with all the time, but I'll throw some photos up on salmon that have been caught with the egg sucking leech. But if you watch my last 2 videos, you know this step already. You bring this guy back and you rough it out. Now we're doing this very gently with this one here because we don't need much of this stuff on this fly. And then you just want to secure that right about there. Snip off all that, and then take this guy and just wrap him around. Not very much on this one, but just make sure you be careful too and gentle, because like I said in my last one, feathers do break really easily. But then you've got something like so. I'm just going to secure it. Like so. So now you've got something that's like fluffy like that on all sides. It's going good. And there, you've got the egg sucking leech. Last step, can never forget about this. You gotta cut your line here. Just very gently wrap it around. Make sure you don't get any of these feathers caught. I forgot to do this just now, so I'm doing it now. And then you can push this guy back a little bit. And you're gonna want to tie your knot. Knot is very crucial because it just double makes sure the hook, the fly will stay together. After like a beating from a king salmon, if the cement comes off, I like it just as a measure, just to make sure. And then you bring it right around the head of the fly, cinch it on there, and there. Break it off. There you have it, the egg sucking leech. This is an amazing fly, not too difficult to tie. It works amazingly. If you follow my things step by step, it's no problem. This fly is really easy to tie. You can whip them out 5 in an hour, 4 in an hour. Sometimes they take longer, depending on how much pizzazz you're putting into it. But thank you for watching. Please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.